Okay, let's do this. Hi, I'm Abyss X. I'm here at Mucho Flow. I just played a live show actually. Well, I feel that there is a very murky situation right now happening in the world where the world is basically divided, and I think masks are off for a lot of governments, but also for a lot of people. And I think a lot of people, especially in Germany, where I have been living in for the past 5 years, I think right now the situation is specifically weird because especially weird because you're not allowed to protest, you're not allowed to openly, express your solidarity towards Palestine. There's actual censorship, and that is not a concept for 2023. Governmental institutions are actually threatening artists to, remove their funding and not support them anymore. And people are scared, and that's why I keep saying this is not the time to be scared, because the stakes are so low. What are you really going to lose? I think if people have a platform, no matter how small it is something to raise awareness, and it is a tool and a way to show your solidarity. And it's really important to do it right now because people are literally losing their homes, losing their loved ones. It has nothing to do, at the end of the day, with religion. It's more about resources and about exploiting resources, and about gain and about money. And it's gain for governments. It's not for people. People are paying for these ideas to be weaponized against other people. And this is just such an insane concept for me that I will use any means necessary to just amplify their voices as much as I can, and just inform people, and inform myself, educate myself, and just spread awareness as much as I can. So yeah. When COVID hit, I wanted to give up music, and I just didn't find a reason to be doing music. Also, my background was never in music. My background is in dance and theater and computer science. So, music came way later into my life through theater performances and just through collaborating with other musicians. I just needed a little shake up, and it did actually come because a friend of mine asked me if I wanted to write some vocals on a rock track. And I thought, okay, I really love guitar music. I'm a big fan of the 70s and psychedelia and prog rock, and so many different types of rock, doom metal, all of that, and punk. And I just thought, okay, if I were to continue producing music and writing, I would like to turn into a different direction and go into songwriting. And I just thought the next album shouldn't follow any specific line. Let's just go with how we feel. And I did start writing it very slowly in 2021. And then I really got into writing it in 2022. And then it took a year to put it out anyway, because that's how albums work. But so Sophie and I met through a mutual friend, and what I really liked about Sophie was that she was very open and very curious about what other people were doing. I think maybe she was caught up for an amount of time in a scene that maybe she didn't feel like it was fulfilling for her, like working with very important celebrity artists, and building a really like high profile career. But I think she always was very curious about underground artists, and that's what I really liked, that when we met, we had some hangouts in her studio, and we would I would just record random vocals. I would just like write down sentences and she would record and then she would use them. Some of them are unreleased. Sadly, I don't know if they will ever be officially released. But I really liked how she was very enthusiastic about, you know, experimenting. I feel like she wanted to break off a bit from the like kind of more pop structure and go into a more experimental wave and ride that wave. How can I say? Sophie had a presence that was very dominating and very, you know, wow, like mesmerizing and dazzling. But still, she managed to be very down to earth and very kind and very easy to talk to and hang out with. And I really admired that in her. She had no attitude ever. She was very warm and very friendly and inviting. And she was always very supportive. When I finished Innuendo, I played it to her and she really liked it. And she offered to do a remix.
Pull the trigger.
She did a remix of Animosity and it was absolutely brilliant. And, you know, it showed a darker side of Sophie and her production. And I think that was great. Thank you.